So it's that time of the month again. That sounded so weird. So for this month's PC build guide, I actually prepared two of them. One is a budget build and the other one is a high-end build. I actually have my script right here because the parts list is too long to remember and I might have some difficulties remembering the models with some numbers and stuff. So with no delays, let's start with the budget build. For the CPU, you have your AMD FX 6300. Now this CPU won't give you any upgrade paths except for the older brothers of this CPU. I chose this processor so that you can game on your PC and also edit some light videos, do some Photoshop, and other tasks that would benefit its 6 cores. This will set you back around 5,200 pesos. For the motherboard, you have your GA970A, which will cost you around 4,150 pesos. And for the RAM, as usual, you have your G-Skill Ripjaws X, which will set you back around 1,900 pesos. Going to the hard drive, you have your 1TB Western Digital Caviar Blue. And finally, for the most awaited part is your GPU. Well, for this budget build to match with our CPU, which is the AMD 6300, I have chosen the ZOTAC 950, which will cost you around 8,600 pesos. Now, this GPU will satisfy you in MOBA games. If you will be running MOBA games at 1080p, then look no further because you will be able to run everything at ultra high settings. But if you are planning to run AAA titles like The Witcher 3, Fallout 4, what else? Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, or games like that, then you might be bumping down the settings to high or medium settings. For the power supply, you have your COUGAR SL400, which is rated at 400 watts, which will set you back around 1570. Now, 400 watts will be enough to power our system because we are only running a GTX 950. Now, for the case, you have your Fractal Design Core 100, a bare bones case which will get the job done, which will get your cable management done, which will get your GPU clearance done, or even if you want to add an aftermarket CPU cooler, that will also get the job done. Now, all of that will total to 25,400, and I will also put the dollar equivalent down below. So going with our high-end build, starting with the GPU, you have your Intel Core i5 6500, which will set you back around 9,370. I didn't go with the Core i7 because Core i7s are essentially for video production, audio production, and the like. Now, if you're just gaming, Core i5 would be enough. For the motherboard, we have another GIGABYTE GA-H110M. This is a mini ITX motherboard which will set you back around 3,390. For the RAM, you have 8 gigs of DDR4, which is the CORSAIR Vengeance RAM, which will set you back around 2,190 pesos. For storage, I actually went with an SSD and HDD combo so that you can get the most out of your operating system and your Photoshop and your Adobe applications and whatnot. So for the SSD, you have your KINGSTON HYPERX, which will be your boot drive with a size of 120 gig, which will set you back around 3,690 pesos. For the hard drive, you have your Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB. This will always be my choice of hard drive in every build. This will be my go-to hard drive. So for the GPU, I am featuring the new GTX 1070 from NVIDIA. This has recently been announced and released, which is a good pick if you are planning to build a high-end system. If you are planning to game on 1440p, then this card will be the right choice. If you're planning to play on 1080p, then you might want to rethink because you won't be able to maximize its fullest potential. You will be just bottlenecking the card and will just watch the world burn. So for the power supply, you have your Seasonic M12 520 watts. It is a fully modular power supply, which means that you will be able to get sleeved extensions to add a little bit of aesthetics to your PC build depending on your color scheme. For the case, we have spent the majority of our money into the CPU and GPU, so we might need to compromise a little bit on the case. For the case, you have your Cooler Master N200. This is a small form factor case which will be small, of course. But personally, I would love to see a powerful PC on a small form factor case. So that is it for this video. Leave a like down below if you liked it. Leave a dislike if you didn't like it, and comment down below for future video suggestions. and violent reactions.
Crack it.